Hello! So I went through my entire Hourglass collection to share with you what I think are the best and worst Hourglass products. I find videos like this really helpful when I'm trying to make buying decisions myself, and one of the goals of my channels is to help you make better buying decisions. I'm hoping that's what you'll get out of this video today. Although I'm a big Hourglass fan, not everything has worked for me from the brand by any means, and I've tried a lot of products from Hourglass over the years, and these products are the standouts to me as far as being favorites or products that just really failed or didn't work for me. And I do have a couple of honorable mentions in here for specific reasons. Before we get started, if this is your first time here or if you've been watching my videos and you just haven't hit that subscribe button yet, I would love it if you would consider subscribing before the end of this video and becoming part of the family. All right, let's go ahead and get into my best and worst Hourglass products. I usually like to get the obvious products out of the way first, so I'm going to go ahead and do that here today because this primer is my holy grail primer. I've been using it for so long, I can't even recall, and I don't even know how many bottles I've gone through. Those of you who have been watching my videos for a while know exactly what I'm about to say. This is the Hourglass Veil Mineral Primer. This works beautifully with pretty much any foundation I pair it with. I know so many women with all different skin types, all different ages, that adore this primer just as much as I do. I have oily combination skin. I am more normal around the perimeter of my face, whereas the center of my face can get shiny and have some oil breakthrough, especially during the hot and humid months. In the winter, I lean a little more normal, but I can still get shiny. This is one of the very few primers that I've tried that does a great job of blurring the pores while controlling oil. One of the hidden features that I feel like isn't talked about very much with this primer is that it is water repellent. And if you're someone who lives in a hot, humid climate like I do, or you do certain things in your life, having a primer that's really effective with sweat, humidity, water is a pretty important thing because that's the basis for keeping your makeup intact and looking good all day. And this does it. It's just a beautiful primer. You only need a pea-size amount of this or any primer that you use. This isn't a silicone type of primer. This is a lotiony type primer that has a silkiness to it. So as you massage it in, it just kind of melds with the skin and your skin just feels really, really smooth. I have the 2-ounce tube now. That's how much I love it. And I do believe I'm gonna need to restock soon because I'm almost out of this one. So yes, this had to be in this video. It's one of my #1 Hourglass products and one of my #1 products of all time. I'm going to go ahead and mention the Hourglass Veil Eye Primer because I just talked about the face primer and they kind of go hand in hand. This is one of my favorite eyeshadow primers. I reach for this all the time. A lot of eyeshadow primers can crease and kind of gather in my crease if I don't set them with a translucent powder. I find that that setting step with a powder is optional with this. I don't have to do that. And my shadows blend out beautifully. They wear beautifully throughout the day. Nothing creases on me or gathers at my crease as the day goes on. You only need a teeny tiny amount for both lids. It does have a beige color, which kind of makes you think it's going to fully conceal your lids, but I find that it blurs the imperfections and kind of evens out the tone versus fully concealing. It's fine for me because I'm usually using something on top and that blurring is enough and it looks really natural to me. I just love the way this feels so lightweight and it doesn't emphasize any texture or dryness or get wrinkly. It just makes my eyelids feel and look really nice in the process while it's performing beautifully. This stands out to me as being a great eyeshadow primer in general, but a great product from Hourglass. This is something that I don't think gets mentioned enough, and it's a standout product for me, not just from Hourglass, but product of its type, because I don't usually like double-ended brushes at all. I don't have many, so the ones that I choose to keep and use really stand out to me. This is the Hourglass Veil Powder Brush, and I think the usual use for this is face powder and then under eye powder, but honestly, I've used this for so many more things. I feel like I've really gotten my money's worth out of it. You can travel with this or even use it at your vanity for multiple uses if you're in a hurry. I mean, I've used this for not only powder, but for bronzer and blush. And this end is shaped perfectly for not only under eye powder, but also highlighter, blush if you want, smaller brush for that. You can also use it for contour. I feel like it's kind of an underrated brush, and the people that have it really, really love it. It's super, super soft. It washes well. The density is perfect for all of those things. You could really just take this on a trip with you for your face and have everything you need, seriously. When I started this video, I said that not every Hourglass product worked for me, and I feel like it's time to throw a fail into the mix. So I did a video on this product, and I really tried to make this work for me. And in the end, I just decided this was not the product for me. And I know a ton of people really like it. I would actually love to hear your thoughts on any of these products in the comments down below. Also, if you have any questions on any products that I don't mention in this video, I could have tried them and maybe they fell somewhere in the middle, or maybe I haven't tried them yet. If you really like something or don't like something, I would love to know your thoughts on that too. So the Hourglass Vanish Airbrush Concealer, it just didn't work for me. I found it to be very, very finicky no matter what I did. I said earlier that I have oily combination skin on my face, but my under eye area is very dry and textured. And as a result, I'm pretty picky about under eye products here on my channel. Those of you that have watched me for a while know that already. I just felt like I had to be really careful how I applied it, how I set it, what I set it with, what I applied it with. It either looked too cakey or too dry, or it wore away too quickly. There were just so many things that were not happening right with this concealer. So it ended up being, unfortunately, a concealer that just didn't work for me. I have too many good concealers to mess around with products that just take that much work. So that's one of my Hourglass products that just did not work for me. I feel like I've talked about this brow pencil a lot, but it's the one that I keep going back to. I think the one I have here is my third one, and I have one in backup ready to go if this one runs out. This is the Hourglass Arch Brow Micro Sculpting Pencil. I have very patchy, uneven brows, and I love a very, very fine brow pencil because it mimics brow hairs better than a thicker pencil. But I like this more than a lot of others because of the very fine, slim, elongated tip. It's shaped kind of like a hyphen, like a dash. So I can use this quicker than I can just a round, slim micro pencil. Now that I'm not blonde anymore and I'm darker, I find a lot of brunette pencils to be too dark and taupe and blonde pencils are too light, and the shade Ash works perfectly for me. Now don't get me wrong, I do have some other brow pencils that I rotate and use, but this is just one that I always go back to because of the shade, because it's just quicker for me to use than other pencils. It lasts a long time and doesn't fade either. It's pretty much my go-to at this point. I try others, I like them, but I love this one. Okay, this next worst of Hourglass product is probably gonna be pretty obvious coming from me. I just typically don't like most liquid lipsticks because they tend to be very drying and age emphasizing on my lips. They emphasize lip lines and just look unflattering as the day goes on and just make my lips feel very, very uncomfortable. Now, I will say that the Opaque Rouge liquid lipstick, it was opaque. The name was right, but I also found that it was very difficult to layer. So if you missed a spot or if you didn't apply it correctly and realized it too late, if you tried to layer it on top of what you had already put down, it just did not work at all. And I also didn't like the scent, and I just found it very, very drying. I was kind of surprised by this because I just kind of thought that Hourglass would have a really, really great liquid lipstick, one that was, a little bit more moisturizing and would layer pretty well. I'd love to know if your experience with this product was similar to mine, or if it was different, or if you love or don't love this product, but I was just less than thrilled with it and kind of surprised. I'm calling this product an honorable mention because it's not a best product for me, but it is for a lot of other people, and I can see why it is. And I feel like it does need to be in this video for that reason, because I understand why it doesn't work for me the way it works for other people. So to be fair, I need to put it in this video because I can definitely see that it can be a best product for you if you have a certain skin type. This is the Hourglass Veil Translucent Powder, and I know a ton of you love it, especially those of you with normal to dry skin. This is a very fine powder that has light reflecting particles. It blurs the appearance of pores and fine lines and imperfections, and it's supposed to give you an airbrush finish. I mean, you know, this is Hourglass. That's kind of their thing. We're going to talk more about that in a little bit. It's infused with diamond powder to help give it that light reflection. It also doesn't have talc, which I know, can be a big thing for a lot of people. So I did think that this gave a nice soft glow and a radiance to the skin that I really liked at first. But it offered me basically no shine control as the day went on. And where I live here in New Orleans, it is hot most of the year. I'm talking like 8 or 9 months out of the year, and it's even hot sporadically in the winter months. So even if I use a powder that is, light reflecting or airbrush looking and not a mattifying powder, I do need it to set my makeup, but also, kind of control my shine throughout the day. And this really just did not do it for me. And then I thought I would just use it underneath my eyes because it would be really, really pretty in that area. And it was if I used the teeny tiniest amount. If I used just a tad too much, I found it look kind of cakey underneath my eyes very quickly. And so I found it to be kind of finicky for me in that area as well. If you're someone who likes to set your foundation with just a tiny swipe of setting powder and you can get away with that, this I think would be a beautiful product for you, and I can see why so many people like it because it really does look beautiful on the skin. So I had to include it in this video because it is a great product for a lot of people. It's just not one of my best products, but I think it is the right product for the right person. On my lids today, I have a combination of 2 of the Scattered Light eyeshadows. I'll put a link to my one and done eyeshadows video that I just did that so many of you liked. Thank you so much for all the great comments on that video. But I do show both of these shades and how I apply them as well. But I went in first today with the shade Reflect and kind of smudged it out in my crease. And then I just pressed a little bit of smoke onto the center of my lid. These are very simple and easy to apply, but they can have a lot of impact. And what I love about them is that you can apply them to where they're almost opaque and look like they have kind of this glossy wet sheen, or you can apply them to the lid as more of a sheer wash of color. These aren't glitters to where you're going to get a bunch of glitter fallout. They are very finely milled, almost creamy when you apply them, and almost look glossy versus glittery. I find that I can wear them during the day, I can wear them at night, and they just look beautiful no matter where I wear them or how I wear them. Sometimes I'll finish off a look with one of these just by pressing it onto the lid, and it just adds a little bit of oomph, I think sometimes, you look at these and you think, oh my gosh, it's a glitter bomb. It's absolutely not. These are just stunning to have on hand, and like I said, so easy to apply and flattering. Okay, so somebody started hammering outside, so we're just gonna have to power through. So the next product that did not work for me from Hourglass is the Vanish Seamless Fluid Liquid Foundation. I did an entire foundation review on this, and I'll have any relevant videos linked down below in case you wanna reference those. In a nutshell, this broke apart throughout the day in various areas on my face. It failed to control any shine, but at the same time, it also emphasized any dryness that I didn't even know I had. That doesn't typically happen with most foundations because I don't really have much dryness on my face. It also transferred really bad. So those were kind of the main points, but it just was kind of a bust for me. I don't even know how many tubes I've bought of the Hourglass Caution mascara. I just know it is one of my holy grail mascaras for volume and length and keeping my lashes soft and curled throughout the day, and it never smudges and it never flakes. It pretty much does everything I need a mascara to do. I can wear it during the day or build it up and wear it at night. This is another one of those products that I have other mascaras that I keep in rotation and that I try, but I always try to keep a tube of this on hand, kind of like the Micro Arch Brow Pencil. I just don't like to be without it because it never fails me. This is, I think, a standout product from Hourglass for sure, especially if you're like me and you have wimpy lashes. It just really works well. I have the Vanish Flash Highlighting Stick in Champagne Flash. It's just that perfect highlight shade. This is a go-to stick highlighter for me. I love the triangle shape of this. I don't know what it is, but there's something about it that I just really like. No matter if I'm applying it directly over my foundation or over a powder, it always applies beautifully. It always looks really good and natural. It doesn't emphasize anything bad, which is exactly what you want from a highlighter. No matter if I blend this out to where it's very, very subtle, or if I leave a little bit more of a sheen, it just always looks very nice and flattering and not like a glitter bomb. It's just a beautiful highlighter, and there's so much product in here, it's going to last forever. This is, I feel like, just a standout product, especially if you're someone who is maybe a beginner to stick highlighters. You're not quite sure if you want to go there. I feel like this is pretty much foolproof. A while back, I mentioned that I was going to try the number 28 Primer Serum. So I am including it today, but I'm including it as an honorable mention product because I don't feel like it worked super great for me, but I know there are a lot of people that like it, and there's some makeup artists that use it in their kits because it has some specific purposes that it can be really great for. It has kind of an oily texture and it's thicker, but it's not super slick. It's a great moisturizing primer that can help your skin just feel really, really nice and keep your makeup on longer, which is, you know, what we want from primers. But it's also a great product that you can mix into foundations, and it's not going to, you know, make them break down or anything. So sometimes people with dry skin have a hard time getting those long wear foundations to really work for them because they can be too mattifying or too drying. You can mix some of this in and it'll help those long lasting foundations work better for your skin type. It can also give foundations more of a glow. It's a great multi-purpose product. I don't think it felt gross on my skin, and I don't think it made me, you know, super oily, but it didn't control my oil or my shine like I need it to for my skin type. But I can see how dry skin would really love this primer. What I love about this primer and the Mineral Veil primer is that you can get small travel sizes to try it first to see if you like it. Okay, so let's talk about what Hourglass is probably most known for, and that's their ambient lighting powders. And they come in various forms. They come in palettes of various sizes, as well as single products. And there's different types of ambient lighting powders. You have the actual ambient lighting powders, bronzers, blushes, strobe powders. And so I'm kind of lumping all of these together. Oh, and side note, I had to flip on my ring light because I'm having all kinds of lighting fluctuations, and it was taking me forever to get through the filming of this video. So I had to just flip it on for this last little part. So if you've never tried any of these powders, you may be wondering why everybody goes nuts for them. Are they really worth the money? That kind of thing. So these powders, these ambient lighting powders, have a photoluminescent technology that softens the look and refines the appearance of skin and filters any harsh light. So it's not so much a shimmer or a sheen, but more of an airbrushed effect that does have kind of this candlelit glow to it, but it's not really a shine. And that's why these are so flattering and why so many people love them and why they're so hard to dupe. I really don't think anyone has found exact dupes of these products before. Everything is just a little bit different. I do think these are worth it. I went through a period of time where I tried them and then I kind of put them to the side and was using other things. And now I feel like I am back on the Hourglass train. I have been really in love with my Hourglass powders, all of them, the blushes, the bronzers, the powders, the strobes, everything. It's really hard for me not to jump in and just get every single limited edition palette that they come out with because I really do love them and I love the convenience. I have traveled with just these before for my entire face because you have face powder, highlight, blush, and bronzer all in one palette, and they work. And if you're someone who's new to the brand, this is a great way to kind of try everything out and see how you like it. I've heard some people express concern over, you know, fitting your brush in and getting product. I've never had a problem with that ever. I actually have every shade from this palette, which was limited edition on, but you know, if I had the new limited edition one, I would probably have that on my face right now. The palettes have existing shades that are singles, so you can test out shades, and they'll also have limited edition shades too. And now this Sculpture mini palette palette has 4 of the shades from this Ambient Lighting Edit Ghost Unlocked palette, which was limited edition. I have both because I kind of like having a small one too. So, I mean, it's makeup, you know, it's fun. I like having different size palettes, but I also like having full products too. And I will also say that you can get minis in a lot of their products, and I have a mini diffused heat blush which will last me forever. So it's also a great way to try some of their products in smaller sizes. Whether you get one of the ambient lighting powders, the blush, the bronzer, whatever, it's gonna be super flattering on you no matter your age, no matter your skin type. I definitely think out of all of the Hourglass products, these are the ones that you think of the most, and they're definitely worth the money. I have a full Charlotte Tilbury brand review where I show you the best and worst of Charlotte Tilbury products. If you haven't seen that, I'll have it linked here for you. I'd love to do more of these. If you're interested in it, let me know down below and let me know what brands you might want to hear more about. If you're not subscribed to my channel, hit that subscribe button and become part of the family. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.